Gotcha. Well, we can go ahead and get started, and I'll be a minute or so. I'm looking for something to talk about. If you notice that, like, if you just want to go over any Geno gameplay at all, then just let me know. We can like swap replays or something like that.
Yeah. Probably during the middle of this, I'll probably like we can put maybe like during the middle of the time period we can just like swap to a Juno clip as well.
Yep, that works. I think health bars are turned off somewhere, but I don't know if that is this end. So I'm not using the usual PC I'm on.
Hmm.
Trying to remember where health bars are. Video or maybe it's gameplay. HUD. No, I'm trying to remember where health bars even display. I don't know why it's not showing that.
No worries.
Allied health bars down default. Contextual. Well, okay. Yeah, I'll do whatever. Okay. So one of the easy ways to improve at the game is to take a look at your mistakes, and this is really the key to improvement, or how to figure out what you need to improve at, and that's going to be watching your mistakes, figuring out what could you have done, what was the cause of the mistake, like what caused the problem, and then what could you have done to solve it. So here, easy example of this is deaths. What would you say are some causes of deaths? So what primary causes of deaths in Overwatch?
I feel like for me, at least personally, it's getting distracted from healing and trying to deal damage, especially as Kiriko. She can deal good damage with her, but you need to focus more on her healing.
So that gets you killed or gets your teammates killed?
Both.
Okay, so like in what ways would that get you killed?
Like I get distracted from healing my teammate who can deal more damage.
Okay, and then you just end up dying to somebody who's like running at you or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I
mhm.
yeah.
Yep. Any other ideas?
Um, Probably placement.
Yep. Positioning, right where you're standing. We're going to talk about that in a minute because right here, notice that you just walk smack dab in the middle of the point ahead of your tank, right? So you're running ahead of your tank, which one is a problem because now you're not letting your tank tank for you and to take damage from you, but also you're just running smack dab into the middle of the open, which just means you'll be taking a ton of extra damage. And then another thing, so that's positioning, right? Being out in the open. There's also awareness, not noticing the fact that there's a venture to your left until you're already dead, right? Like we don't notice that there's a venture, yeah, until we're dead, basically. Um, and then there's other things. So those are the main ones there. And then the other things could be like misuse of abilities, or overextending, or poor mechanics, losing your duel. There's other things like that. That can be the cause. Okay, so just kind of miss all the shots. So mechanics. Do you mind if I ask what your sensitivity and DPI are at?
I can check I can check my settings. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
my sensitivity is at 15%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure what DPI is. People always say
So
that to me. I don't really.
yeah, DPI is think of it like your sensitivity when you're out of the game. So you're just your computer sensitivity.
Oh, okay.
So you could check that on your mouse software. If you have mouse software, you could potentially look it up to try to see. What do you know? What mouse you have?
I have just a regular Logitech mouse, I think.
Logitech.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of times you can download software to see what it is and adjust it, or you can just look it up to see what it is. Let's just assume that it's like a standard. Let's assume that it's a standard 800. It could even be higher potentially. I doubt it's too much lower. Though who knows? It could be that you do have it set really low. But that'd be something to look into to see what you have it set to. If you have it set at 800, you would, if you multiply those together, so 800.
Well, I just looked it up. It
Okay,
says about 1,000 DPI.
1000. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So 1000 times 15 means that you have a EDPI, which is those two combined, of 15,000. So that means that you have a very high sensitivity. That's like a pretty, I'd say, yeah, pretty high. Like that's gonna be meaning that like if you're just doing your thing and like making turns in the game, one easy way to test this is to go into like a practice range, and with your mouse space, drag your mouse from one side of your mouse pad to the other. With the space that you typically use, so from left to the right. And if this is like significantly over a 360 or under a 360, then you have a problem. So if it's under a 360, then you won't be able to make turns very easily. And if this is over a 360, like you're doing a spin and then another spin and then another spin, well, then you probably have a sensitivity that's way too high. And that's going to throw off your shots and make it harder for you to aim. So that's something to potentially look into, is lowering your sensitivity.
So when I like go from one side of the mouse pad to the other, there should not be a turn, or like,
No,
or
there
is it
should
like
so it
360.
should be so okay. So if I fix on Junker Queen here, and I bring
Mhm.
my mouse on the left side of my mouse space, so whatever I'm using, whatever area I'm using, and I drag it from the left all the way to the right, you see I go like 1.5 ish, right? A little, or like a little bit under 1.5, right? Which I'm right now I'm on my friend's PC. Usually I have it like just over 360. So if you did that and you are doing like this much, that's too little. If you did it and you are doing a flip and then a flip and then a flip, that's like way too much, right? And you, with your current sensitivity, you might be doing that.
So I should have like I'll be able to do like one 360 and that's it.
Yeah, little, maybe a hair over 360 with your mouse space that you're using.
Okay, cool.
So that'll hopefully help you manage your shots a little bit better. Then there's also practicing it. We'll talk about maybe crosshair placement at some point. Um, warm up. You can do warm ups, which is about before you play competitive. About like 10-15 minutes of just. I mean, usually we're out in like 10 minutes of just going to a high aim intensive game mode that can help.
I can heal you.
Okay, you're not reloading your 2 ammo at the moment, so we kind of run out when we get in a duel. Okay, a lot of our abilities aren't getting maximally used, so like here we just TP over instead of like we didn't really take stock of the fact that the Venture just jumped out, so we didn't even need to use TP. So that kind of ends up just getting wasted. Not too big of a need to use it. Good heals. Don't even notice the Pharah barraging above you, right? So that's an awareness thing of noticing what's going on around you and paying attention. So that's going to be both visual and audio. Primarily there's audio awareness because I didn't mean to skip all the way back. Primarily there's audio awareness because the Pharah was off of your screen. You couldn't see her, but you didn't notice when there were rockets flying down from above you, right? You can see rockets flying down from above. You can see when you're taking damage. Notice above your crosshair that it shows you the direction from that you're taking damage from, which is in front of you here. You can
Oh wait, oh. I actually never noticed that there's just like a circle around, like an invisible circle. Oh
yep,
wow.
yep, shows you the direction you're taking damage from. Notice that it's kind of hard to see here. Um, I guess you're low HP now, so it's kind of hard to see. Sometimes you'll also see around the edges of your screen as well the direction that you're taking damage from. So let's see. Not you can't really see it too well here because it's kind of clouding your whole screen. And then you're low HP. You can hear it. So things with audio awareness is make sure that your master volume is loud enough that you can hear. That's kind of subjective because everyone's PC is different. Just make sure it's loud enough that you can hear. Recommend probably turning down your music volume so it doesn't clutter with your audio. I'd recommend making sure that you have some form of surround sound. Usually that comes kind of with your headset, but you can also end your headset software. But there's also the in-game option. If you go to spatial audio, there's Dolby Atmos for headphones, which is like the in-game version of it. And then there is also play sound when teammates and enemies are eliminated. That can be handy because that's basically an audio version of kill feed, which helps additional awareness with what's going on around you. But ultimately, the most important thing is to make sure that you're actually paying attention to your surroundings and listening. Because if you're not listening for gunshots and abilities and ultimates and footsteps, then you're not going to know what's happening. So one of the big thing for working on awareness is just paying attention to your surroundings. We're the session's short, so we might as well get into like application. That might seem a bit vague. How do you look and hear better, right? That might be sometimes a difficult thing to do, or to know how to do. But it's really quite simple in that you work on this the same way that you work on anything, and that is that while you're playing, you want to make sure that you're actively focusing on the thing you're trying to work on. You want to make sure that you're not autopiloting or just coming in to play the game, but you're playing to improve, that you're playing to get better. And how you're going to do that is you're going to come into the game and have something in mind that you're trying to work on, like, for example, awareness. And you think to yourself, awareness, 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 look, listen, look around. Where's the enemy at? Where's my team? And when you are constantly giving yourself that reminder to pay attention to your surroundings and look around and do 360s, that's going to help with your awareness instead of just like going through the fights and doing a slow pan. You want to be looking side to side, up in the air if they've got a Pharah, right? Instead of just constantly looking down at the ground. You want to look up a little bit. Actively reminding yourself to pay attention is going to mean that your awareness is going to be better. And then if you do that for a certain period of time, that will form it into a habit. And then once you've formed it into a habit, then you don't really need to work on it anymore. It just comes naturally at that point. So that is awareness kind of in a nutshell there, and working on it. Final thing with working on your gameplay is don't try to do everything all at once. That just gets overwhelming. So instead, pick out a category or 1 to 3 smaller things within a category to work on. Any questions on any of that?
No.
Okay, cool. Maybe we'll go over positioning in a minute. The heals. Nice punch to kill. So definitely got to work on aim. Hopefully sensitivity will be a big factor in that. If your sensitivity is really high, that's going to be like one of the big basic things to work on to fix it. And then there's, of course, going to be a lot of other things that you can add into it, but that's a good first step, is getting your better sensitivity. Here we throw your Suzu at kind of nothing in particular. Like, you kind of just throw it over at the Sombra. Which she wasn't really low, so she didn't need it. If you needed it, then look at the ground when you throw it. Because if you look at the ground, then it's not going to go flying forward. It's going to hit your feet and explode there. So kind of use it a bit early. Good TP out. So it was a good TP, bad Suzu. Nice shots. That's pretty good ult usage. This just easy way to not get your climbs will break and stop your climb if your camera is moving from side to side. So if you're climbing and you go like this, it will break your climb. If you're so you need to make sure that you're looking straight while you're climbing so that you're going straight up. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay, once again, so we use cleanse. We get our Jungler Queen, but wait, so it's good that you're using it. I'm glad that you do. Maybe the Sombra and the Ashe could have used it a bit better than the Jungler Queen could have. So just once again being kind of aware of your surroundings.
Feels like sewing, huh? I feel all warm inside.
Okay, good Suzu. Reload when you got nothing else going on. It's just usually good to do that with lulls of time. Okay, nice. Okay, very minor things, but just watch there's a couple times where I notice you healing when people are full HP. It's called overhealing. Just a good thing to watch out for because it will kind of waste your time and resources when you could be using that time to damage, to look for abilities, to reposition, to reload. Lots of other things you can do with that time. Don't want to, not massive, so don't need to spend too much time on it. Okay, so we're looking to come off to the side to duel. We're TPing back.
Hey, Queen.
We're kind of TPing. The problem there is that we're TPing to someone on the front line. Right? We're TPing to, instead of TPing to someone in the back here, we're TPing to the Jungler Queen in the front, which is just going to kind of overextend you because you had two different options there on the right-hand side that you could TP to. But we TP to the Jungler Queen instead. Probably not the play because she's just really far forwards, and that's just not going to be good for you when you're all out of resources. That makes sense. It's usually a good idea so that you're not panicking with your TPs, to have once again, be aware, pay attention, and have targets in mind that you'll be able to just TP to at a moment's notice. Right, and if you have those targets that you can just TP to at a moment's notice, right? Like, as you're dueling, and then like you're kind of ready for it. You can just be ready to TP and be really quick with it. Do note as well, a fun technique is that you can hold down your shift button. So right now I'm holding my shift button or whatever your TP button is, and as soon as you hover over top of a teammate, it'll automatically TP you. So if you're in a duel, this can be handy because I can just know my teammate is over there, and I can be going in again in a duel and trying to kill stuff, and then I just, I'm getting punished. I can just Suzu and then TP out really quickly just because I'm holding it down. You can kind of flick over for it. Right? I can just do a sharp, like that kind of thing. Right? That makes sense? Oh, just checking. You still with me here? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, gotcha. Yep, sorry. You just
You're
making
good.
sure you're there. Let's go over positioning really quick. If I am standing right here, and the enemy team's standing right there, and they're all looking at you and shooting at you. Let's say you don't have TP, you don't have, maybe you do have Suzu, but you're running away, and you have 1, 2, 3 seconds to get behind cover. Now you can't shoot through solid objects, so we're all fine and dandy from here. But in that time it took you to walk here, you died because you're way too far out in the open. Whereas from here you can do all the same stuff, right? You can do all the same stuff, except for now it takes you half a second to duck behind cover because you are much, much closer to it. Therefore, good positioning is the usage of cover, whereas bad positioning is the absence of cover. The further away you stray from it, the worse off you're going to be. The great thing is it covers all over the place. Covers here, on slopes, on pillars, in between shots while you're reloading. You can do that. Corners, little random objects like the payload, pillar, corner, doorway, corner, doorway. High grounds, phenomenal also for positioning. No, we didn't have too many high grounds on that specific point, but just in general, make sure you're looking to take high grounds because they give you cover on the high grounds. They give you lots of characters can't get up to you as easily on the high grounds, and also you have tons of visibility. We can see over here and here, here and there, but you can't see over there, in the high ground when you're on the low ground like this. So and all that makes sense with general positioning. Any questions on it?
No.
No. Cool. No, this will be helpful once you start getting used to your new sensitivity. We can talk a hair about crosshair placement. Is that a term you're familiar with at all?
Sort of. No, not really.
Not really. Okay. So crosshair placement is really just it's very simple in that you're using your aim to help your brain. You're placing your crosshair in the best place possible to make shots as easy as possible. Right? If you're looking down here or up here, then you have to make a lot of adjustments. Usually down here is more common. You have to make a lot of adjustments to hit headshots, which headshots do basically 2 times damage across most characters, right? 2 shots.
Sorry, what was that?
4. Oh, headshots do 2 times damage across most characters.
So before that.
Yep, I was saying if you're aiming down here, there's a lot of adjustments to hit headshots, right? Which makes
that
it
makes
a lot
sense.
harder. So what you want to do instead is aim up here at head level and just maintain a head level, because then you get to hit shots. And head levels, besides like tanks, which you can adjust up a little bit, head levels pretty much the same for most characters. So if you're just doing your thing and you're aiming down here, well, you'll just naturally be hitting body shots when you're shooting down corridors and into shields. But if you just aim up here and do all the same stuff, well, now you'll just naturally be hitting headshots because you're just aiming at that level.
Gotcha.
There's also pre-aiming, so aiming where you know people are going to be. So if bot's right there, we don't want to come and do kind of a slow pan around the corner. We want to be aiming head level, already looking around this corner, so that we just line up those shots very easily. Same thing if they're on a slope or up on a high ground, we adjust up and down, just like if they have a tank or like a Torbjorn. We adjust up and down, right, so that we can land those headshots very easily. Right. Cool. Then let's see. We got like 5 minutes left. So we can start to like wrap up stuff here. Main points seem to, I mean, like abilities, could be using them a hair better. Like, you know, maybe just watch and be intentional with how you're using Swift Step and Suzu. Sometimes we're using Suzu when it's not needed. Sometimes they're better targets for it. But it was good. Like, I think that the pacing of how you're using them both was good. TP you're also using sometimes into dangerous situations. So just be careful about TPing to people who are in danger. If you don't need to put yourself in danger. So just be careful about that.
Good question. So I pay for like extra notes on this. Like, does that mean like a document form or what?
Say that again. Does that mean what?
I pay for like $5 extra for like the document, like the notes.
Yep, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you over Discord after we're done.
Alright, sounds good.
Yep. Yeah. So that means we don't have to spend too much time on this review section, because some of that will be on there. Say primary things to work on. I mean, probably awareness, positioning, and mechanics are the biggest ones. I'd say ability usage and ult usage were lower on the list, but being able to shoot people, but also like paying attention and not being smack dab in the middle of the open, those are pretty big ones to work on. Any final questions about anything?
No, this was great. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, like I said, I'll get you your notes in a minute. And then I'm going to go over to Fiverr. I'll mark your order as delivered after I get you your recording as well. And then you can just go mark it as complete and then leave a review. If you like the session, you can always just come grab more and subscribe. Do note that if you grab a subscription, it's 20% off, and it'll just repeat whatever order you want to get once a month. So like if you wanted to do just like 30 minutes once a month, right? That's kind of how that would work. That's pretty much it. We got like a couple extra minutes, so we can maybe let's think of another category to work on. Yeah, we talked about mechanics. Trying to think. What other things? Ranging. Be careful. You do want to get closer kind of with some of your shots, but you want to make sure you're using cover while you're getting closer. Kiriko wants to be within 25 meters for her TP and her healing of teammates, so you want to be close to teammates to heal. And then for enemies, it kind of depends. If you're in the middle of healing, then stay at a medium range from enemies. But if you're looking to go do some damage, you can try to look to close the distance because you have slow projectiles. Just be careful and be ready to TP out at a moment's notice to be able to disengage. Let's see. I think that your one ultimate that I saw was pretty good. Oh yeah, we didn't go over anything on Juno. We kind of ran out of time for that.
But if I want another session, we can work on Juno.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely be able to cover her then.
Find peace.
All right. Any other final questions or anything?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, my pleasure. I'll get you the recording in a minute, and then you can go do all